welcome back to my channel. So today I have a couple botanical inspired DIYs. We're going to start out with these clipboards that I picked up at the Goodwill bins. I'm going to give them 2 coats of paint in the color moss. Next, just to give them a more aged look, I'm going to go ahead and use my vintage texture stamps from IOD. I'm going to go ahead and use this one right here, which is my favorite one. As you can tell, I use it a lot. My ink I picked up at Hobby Lobby. Next, I just picked out a couple botanical pictures from this book that I actually picked up at Five and Below. I'm going to go ahead and rip the edges of the paper. I'm trying to make them look aged. I don't want like a very clean look. So using this ruler, I'm going to go ahead and rip some of the edges. And here, as I always do, I'm going to go ahead and use this Distress Oxide from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to go ahead and age the edge of my prints. I picked 4 prints from this Five and Below book, and I do this to all 4 prints, and then all I do is add them to the clipboard and we'll be all done. Next up, I picked up these frames at the Goodwill bins as well. I'm going to go ahead and give them 2 coats of black in the color ink from Waverly Chalk Paint. And here, once I let the 2 coats dry, I'm going to go ahead and give them a quick distress just to give them an aged look as well. Next up, just to seal everything in, I'm going to go ahead and use my DIY clear wax. So I went ahead and printed these botanical prints from graphicsfairy.com. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. They have some beautiful prints. So using the glass of the frame, I'm going to go ahead and trace out the edges just so I can make sure I get it centered. Then I will go ahead and cut off all the excess paper. Then here, as always, I'm going to go ahead and age the edges again with this Distress Oxide. For this next print, it actually had a border. If I had cut it off, it would be too small for the frame. So what I'm going to do is use the Distress Oxide, and I'm going to go ahead and age the edges. And it actually kind of blends in that white border. So I will do this all the way around, and then I will put them back into their frames and we'll be all done. Next up, I picked up this ornate frame from Goodwill as well. I'm going to go ahead and trim out this paper, which I think it's like a kid's drawing paper. I'm not sure, but I just like that the color that it is. I feel like it makes it look more vintage. So I'm going to go ahead and trace it out and cut it out to the size of the frame. Next, I'm going to go ahead and stamp with these IOD stamps. They are called Sprigs. I'm going to go ahead and set them out how I want to stamp the paper. Using my transfer sheet, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the stamps. I'm going to go ahead and add some ink to them. Ink is also from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to try and do it maybe about an inch or two away from the bottom. I'm going to carefully turn it over, hoping none of them slip off of the transfer sheet. I'm going to go ahead and place them down and give them some light taps, not pressing too hard. I have pressed a little too hard sometimes and it makes them very blurry. But doing some light taps here, you're going to get some crisp lines. I will go ahead and age the edges on my paper as well. Then I will place it back into my frame and we'll be all done. I will have the end result at the end of the next DIY just because I staged them together, just so y'all can see the end result. So I picked up these tags at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge some musical sheets onto them. I wasn't really sure what I was going to use them for, but then I ended up using them like on the knobs of my hutch. I also hung one from a vintage jar, which is staged with my previous DIY, and you will see at the end how I staged them. So I'm going to add a coat of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to get the music sheet and place it right on top. I'm going to go ahead and push out as much bubbles as I can without tearing the music sheet. Once I have all my bubbles smoothed out, I'm going to go ahead and grab my sanding block and take off all the extra paper. So I picked up these little cards from Hobby Lobby. They're in the Tim Holtz brand. Using these little corner stickers, I'm going to go ahead and attach them to my tag. I also feel that if I was using these for something other than home decor here in my home, I would probably put some glue between between the card and the tag. But since they're just going to hang here in my home, that I just went ahead and attached them with just these little corner stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and add the little hanger on. I'm also going to just add this bead just for a little detail. And then I'm going to go ahead and loop it around, make a knot, and then just tie it off. Then I'm just going to go ahead and add some crackle with my textured stamps from IOD, and we'll be all done. So I really hope y'all enjoyed today's DIYs. I was very inspired by botanical prints this time around. If you like what you see, please subscribe and follow for more, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.